Like a lot of people, I find What If to have some high highs and some extremely low lows, especially in that first season. Season 2 is mostly bland with a sprinkle of character assassination mixed in there, and Season 3 just kinda sucks in general. But Season 1 has a handful of standout episodes, good premises, neat visuals, and ideas that could be given the right treatment with a different creative team or tone. And of course, one of the biggest standout episodes of What If is the Zombies one, for good and bad reason. Yet, the second they revealed the trailer for Marvel Zombies earlier this month, I think the issues everyone had with that initial episode went away. It seemed like we were finally getting a dark, tone-appropriate, twisted Marvel story with zombie superheroes, and I, along with so many others, were hyped beyond belief. And not even from a critical standpoint, I just wanted to see whatever cool crap they could do here. We all saw Spider-Man in that first trailer. We know this shot by itself is just a 10 out of 10. For some reason, it caused a controversy though. We'll get into it. We saw Blade sword fighting. We know we need that movie. We saw Zombie No More. Like, Jesus Christ, big dog. That initial trailer built up so much excitement for this series, and it ended up mostly paying off. That original episode of What If all took place during Infinity War, and I love how this series contrasts with what's essentially its makeshift pilot. It feels very Phase 4 and 5 with all these new character interactions and locations. Obviously, we still have plenty of characters from the Infinity Saga here, and we get a good amount of time between all of these different characters. I really like how Nando of Nando V Movies said this came across as Phase 4's Avengers project, because this is the first time we're seeing most, if any, of these characters meet one another. I mean, it's even the audience's first time meeting Mahershala Ali's Blade. I also do agree with Nando when saying that this should have come out during Phase 4, or at the beginning or middle of Phase 5, not the beginning of Phase 6. Animation obviously takes a lot of time, but 4 years is a bit much. Maybe I just say that as someone who doesn't like this style of animation that much. I don't think it's that impressive. I've never been head over heels for the What If animation design. I think it can do some incredible things, and the action sequences can be phenomenal with this style, but a lot of the time the character models feel off or the movements feel too clean. There's never any smear framing or blurs, so all the movements feel very stiff, even in action sequences that have more energy and quick pacing than anything in live action. The 3D designs imitating 2D may be the reason for these issues, but with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man earlier this year, that problem didn't feel as prevalent. I do think this style works better here, though, than it does in the initial pilot, especially during those scenes with heavy red lighting and hordes of nasty zombies. I'm honestly so glad we got a TVMA version of that What If episode, and that it's an animated project. I'm not sick while I'm recording this, I promise. My voice is just very low today. One of my favorite aspects of this show was obviously the maturity rating, and how it allows for a lot more action, violence, and a more appropriate tone throughout. The gore is brought up to an extreme we haven't seen before in the MCU. It fits well with this story and allows for some incredible fight sequences. The only thing I can think of that reminds me of this show is Creature Commandos. And yes, I know that's DC, but still. And one part of that violence I adored was seeing all these characters meet their match in a fight, or, like I already said, just meet each other for the first time. I love seeing Kate, Riri, and Kamala interact in that first episode. It makes me excited for whenever we do get that Young Avengers project. Jimmy Woo and that Death Dealer were honestly pretty funny too. Red Guardian stole the spotlight whenever we saw him on screen. I think he's my dad's new favorite character of the MCU. I don't blame him. Red Guardian's awesome. And honestly, even small team-ups like Zemo and John Walker, or that interaction between Khonshu and Valkyrie, work very well for this story. But the best part about this zombie framing device is obviously the showdowns. Captain America as a zombie and half the man he once was is still able to box with Red Guardian. Namor can barely be stopped by a super soldier, a Red Room assassin, 3 magic ring or bracelet wielders, an Egyptian avatar, and a handful of NPCs. Icarus and Captain Marvel have been throwing hands for 5 years straight, and neither have broken a sweat. And Black Panther, with one leg, is still able to put up the best offense against Thanos, and they go about respecting T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman very well. Zombie Wanda somehow had more stands than regular Wanda. And Blade, oh my god, this man doesn't miss. Where is his movie? I'm being so serious. That fight with Ghost was phenomenal, especially with that sweeping long take to go with it. Chef's kiss. All of his scenes are great, and even though the impeccable Mahershala Ali isn't here to play him, I think the VA still does a good job here. They did not have to murk him like that, though. The disrespect is crazy. No one is holding back here. Everyone is showing how strong they are in a fight, in a life or death scenario, and it really adds some stakes. And speaking of not holding back, they made my goat show no mercy. Yes, Spider-Man, screw him up, twin. Get him. Get him.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's doing anything. That's why he's the...
I do wish we got to see more of Spider-Man here, especially since they show off his two coolest moments in the trailer. But it is what it is. A Spider-Man fan can only dream. We already got an 8 out of 10 TV show this year. We get what we get. I love what Spider-Man represents and his compassion in other media. But to a lot of y'all who's saying they ruined him here by having him kill zombies, grow up. Oh, he shouldn't kill. Yeah, duh. Shouldn't kill zombies is what I meant. Y'all are stupid. And I know y'all are going to want to hear me talk about that finale. I think it's a cool idea. Wanda essentially creates a worldwide Westview, and Ironheart is the last woman alive, and it seems like she's going to break Kamala from the Westview thing or whatever in a potential season 2. I think a season 2 could be cool, but I kind of just wanted a one-off fun season of zombie TV, and making it an overcomplicated WandaVision Walking Dead mashup, that just feels like a bit too much. Do I think it's a cool idea? Oh yeah, there's a lot of good ways they could execute that idea in a potential season 2. Do I think we needed this in a Marvel zombie show? No, absolutely not. It feels too overcomplicated. But that doesn't mean the show is bad by any means. I had a lot of fun with Marvel Zombies, and I think it's gonna be a new rewatch for me every spooky season, sort of like how I used to rewatch that initial What If episode for a couple Halloweens. I'm feeling a strong 8 out of 10 for this, and I encourage you to check it out. It feels like the most different project out of anything in recent memory for the MCU. It's grotesque, it's fun, it's got a handful of fan service and cameos, and feels the most like an Avengers-level story, which is something Marvel has needed for a while now. But I can't speak for you. Go tune into Disney Plus for this, because there's definitely something here for every MCU fan. Farewell, Blade Knights.